Could we be any more soaked?
Watch this.
Hear the big splashers with Phonak Audeo Life Lumity, a waterproof hearing aid with smart speech technology. So no matter who is speaking, conversations shine with Lumity.
The Allegheny Journal is delighted to host Justin Reiter, who's the executive director of the historic Masonic Theater here in Clifton Forge. And Justin, thanks very much for coming on today. I know you got 88 other things to do, but to talk to the pesky press, but it's nice to have you here.
Well, Jerry, thank you. We appreciate everything you do, and you're not a pesky press.
Oh, well, we're hoping that you can give the public some what we call the season's highlights. You've already had some great events in the last couple months, and it sounds to us like you've got a big season coming up as well.
We do, Jerry. We're just announcing it now. We've booked February, March, April, May, and June. That's about as far out as I wanted to book at this time. But we've got some absolutely terrific things coming up, including a Forever Simon and Garfunkel act, Rumors, which is a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, which has been getting amazing reviews over the past few years throughout the country. But I think the thing that I'm most excited about is that we have been able to get licensed to show movies that are recently released. So the first one we'll be kicking off on February 4th is Elvis, which is up for Academy Awards, which won Golden Globe, all of those. So
wow,
really excited about that coming up. And then in February or March, believe it or not, on our stage, big screen, big sound system, Top Gun Maverick, 7:00.
Wow,
on a Saturday night.
That's going to load the theater, Justin.
I certainly hope so. These movies are pay what you can. We pay a licensing fee for them, but as a nonprofit, we can't charge you a ticket. So we depend on you dropping a few bucks into the cookie jar. If you went to the movie theater in Covington, you're going to pay 10, 20, 30 bucks, depending upon how many people you have. We're going to give you the opportunity to pay exactly what you can.
Wow. And, when you plan out a season, I imagine, you've got to have a notebook out there and you're brainstorming. And that's nice to say, oh, I want X, Y, and Z. But that also has to fit a reasonable budget, doesn't it?
It does. It takes a lot of research and for looking for shows and seeing what's talented, but also seeing what we can afford so that we don't have to charge a high ticket price. The reason Jimmy Fortune was a little more expensive ticket price is Jimmy Fortune's a little more expensive to come to the theater.
And one of the things I think you really do well, I'm not sure that everybody takes advantage of it, Justin. And by the way, just personally, we're especially thankful, is when performers finish their that formal performance, oftentimes they'll come to the underground, and there are very few venues where you can meet somebody like Jimmy Fortune or some of these guitarists, and they're down there shaking hands, and you can have a glass of wine or a Coke, and you get to meet these people one-on-one, and that is really cool. And I think they're telling other performers about that opportunity as well.
Well, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is really taking care of the artists when they're here, because we know they go to other venues. We know they talk to other artists. So we often roll out the red carpet. What you don't see behind the scenes is when they get to their dressing room, they've got a mini fridge full of drinks. They've got hot tea. They've got coffee. We do bowl of fruit. We've got snacks for them. We really make it comfortable for them to be here. And they get a great takeaway from that.
Justin, another thing you guys do really well is Historic Masonic Theater.com is a pretty cool website. You keep it up to date, unlike other venues we've noticed. You can buy tickets online simply. They can go down your various events within the next couple months. So that's kind of a little small bit of brilliance to make everything seamlessly work.
Yeah, I think, being up to date on your website page and on your Facebook page is pretty crucial to a theater. We have all of the shows that are currently booked on sale at this moment. A press release will be going out shortly to all of the different news outlets to let them know what's coming up. But if you want to jump on, exclusive Allegheny Journal listeners, you can jump on right now and see everything we have coming up.
And and another thing, Justin, I think the people out there want to know is, heretofore there was a separate kind of Allegheny Highlands Arts Council, which in the old days didn't talk too much to one end of the county versus the other, but it's just the opposite now. In fact, you and Tammy Scruggs Duncan and the Arts Council just had a great event on Saturday. And that the Brass Five band, quite frankly, I'd never heard of them. And I would say to myself, okay, I'll do 2 or 3 songs and then move on. I stayed for the entire thing. Those guys were fabulous, and I know that couldn't have happened without cooperation.
Well, I think, Tammy, first of all, she does an amazing job with the Arts Council, and she's currently, I think she's still in New York at what we call the APAP conference, looking at shows that she can book for next year. And she's got a great lineup this year. She's bringing in a great jazz musician to kick off February, Victor Haskins and his band. And then she's then going to bring in Rhythm of the Dance in March, which is an Irish group. And then she's bringing in the Richmond Ballet. So we're going to have them here as well. So I appreciate Tammy and the Arts Council and all they do for the Masonic.
One aspect of the theater's operations, another thing that may not be obvious, is you have quite a group of greeters, and they're not sitting there stone-faced, more customers and more work. These are people we all know, and they seem to me to be a huge asset to the theater overall.
Well, we could not do it without our volunteers. And actually, I call our volunteers rock stars. And if you hear me in any of my pre-show speeches, I thank them, and they are an amazing group of people. However, we did lose a good portion during COVID that have decided not to come back. It's an older group. We're looking for new volunteers. It gives you an opportunity to help the community, help the theater, and you can watch the show for free. So that's kind of a nice benefit to being a volunteer.
If they want to be a volunteer, they just call Historic Masonic Theater?
You bet. They can call the Masonic to volunteer, or they can go online on our website, and there's a section for volunteer as well.
All right. I hope I haven't talked too much. Were there other shows or features that you wanted to talk about for the springtime?
Yeah, I think one of the really, we're trying to make this travelogue film work, where we're bringing in filmmakers who go across the world, make a film, and come back and talk about it. And we will be going to Nambia, all over Africa this year. So you can come on a Sunday afternoon and go to Nambia and never leave Clifton Forge or need a passport.
Wow. Go ahead. No.
And the other thing that is coming up in May is a new documentary, which is receiving really great critical acclaim. It's called Gurgle, Pulling Water. And it's all about the courage, teamwork, adventure, and life lessons in the sport of rowing. So we're going to talk to the woman who rowed across the Atlantic. And Dick Van Cleek will be here with us, the filmmaker. He's already won awards all over the world for this, and it was just released at the end of the summer. So we're very excited about getting Dick here to see the theater. And then theater camp is back. We're able to finally do a theater camp again.
Right.
That'll be happening in June, and it will culminate with the students working alongside professionals in a production of James and the Giant Peach.
Wow, you've got a lot going on. Justin, I don't know if you're familiar with Penelope Keith, But I keep telling my wife and my little business partner, one of these days I'm going to stop doing what I do, and I want to do what Penelope Keith does in Britain. She goes to these various counties and meets all the characters and then does this great video. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a little bit of what, like your travel series.
It is. The travelogue. Travelogue has been around since, well, people traveled and drew pictures and brought them back in the 1600s. So there's always been a sense of travelogue. It's had a great evolution. And now that you've got 4K cameras and drones, I mean, we're going to get some shots of Victoria Falls that you cannot believe that Rick Ray, and Rick Ray, the filmmaker, will be here with us to take us through that. And he and I will have a talk back afterwards so people can ask questions about his travels through Africa.
Well, I've gotten more time from you than we deserve. We're delighted to hear your voice and all the neat things that are coming up at the Historic Masonic Theater. And by the way, tell the public one more time, what's the date and time for Top Gun?
Top Gun. Oh, Top Gun happens in March, and it is March 6th at 7 p.m. Full concessions, including alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. So you come down, grab your popcorn, get a cold drink, go in, big sound, our big subwoofers, pushing those jet engines right through you.
And by the way, that is a fantastic sound system you have. So you've got it all together. Thanks again for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you soon.
You bet, Jerry. Thanks so much. Thanks for all you do for us.